Hey everyone, it's Army Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on Matt Stonie. This is a brand new Dark Corrupted monsters. That's right, we're getting a ton of Dark Corrupted monsters. Matt Stonie was kidnapped by General Nishin's Dark troops and sent to work at the kitchens of his war camp at a very young age. There he was taught to cook dinner for the troops every night after battle. As years passed, Matt Stonie could feel his youth wasting away and he decided to do something to escape. The problem was that the camp's guards never allowed him to leave the kitchens, so he came up with a plan. One night, when Nishin soldiers arrived at the camp hungry for their dinner, Matt Stonie reported that all the food in the kitchen had disappeared. Unbelievable. How had food for 200 soldiers vanished into thin air? The guards informed General Nishin that no one had walked into the camp to steal that, and Matt Stonie had been alone and locked up in the kitchen. Nishin assumed that someone had sneaked in without being seen, told the guards to stay alert, and sent everyone to bed with an empty stomach. But then the same happened again. For 3 nights in a row, at that point, soldiers and guards were exhausted and starving. Nishin punished the guards for their blunders, as clearly someone was going in and out of the camp right in front of their eyes, carrying tons of food to feed 200 soldiers. Wow, General Nishin's not the brightest monster in the game. They all felt so weak and they couldn't react when they saw young Matt Stonie escaping and running away with the camp at the speed of light. How did he have so much energy? He had the energy of 200 monsters, so it looks like Matt Stonie was consuming all of General Nishin's food. Alright, let's see what this monster brings. Matt Stonie is a durable dark attacker with immunity to tortures and several life steal skills, double healing, and maximum life increase. Very interesting. Considering Season 6 is going to bring us the almighty, the all-powerful Lord Nabotis, it's interesting to see whether or not Matt Stonie is going to get used, because Dark Attacker against Lord Nabotis, who's a Dark Attacker, ooh, it's a tough category to be in now. He has an evolving trait. Earrings are immune to torture. I will say that is a very good torture. This gives him a competitive edge. Right now, Burning Hands and Static Shocks, for example, if you have Unrelenting Assault and you hit someone with Static Shocks and then UA kicks in, it's not going to be able to kick in again, right? Because once you have that Static Shock, once you have the shock negative effect on you, the shock torture effect on you, you can't utilize extra turn skills or you can't utilize UA. So you're always immune to that, so that's useful. At rank 1, you gain immune to stun, and at rank 3, you become status caster applying nightmares to all enemies. So I believe Lord Nabotis does that as well, applying nightmares to enemy monsters. This monster to me looks like it's going to be it is an attacker, so it'll probably have the sword relic. Oh, look at that, he has double sword relic. So you can double Nishin's sword and drain enemy stamina thanks to the nightmares. You literally start the game off with nightmares against the enemy. You can go double laser beam sword to increase power output. You can go cane sword, laser beam sword. So the double sword, we definitely do see that on attackers a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is what it is. Let's talk stats. The life stat is 91,687. That is a really good life stat. It's a top 10 stat. It's tied with that of Mouseron, Swamp Zode, Boronot, and of course, Lord Nabotis. The power stat is also pretty impressive, 85-56. So this is typical of that of the attackers in the Corrupted era. It's tied with that of Minos, Gartox, Dream, King Charmless, and Kaori. And the speed stat, wow, 6,600. This is the second highest stat in the game. The only 2 monsters that are faster have the same stat of 6743, so 143 points more than Matt Stonie, and that would be Ingwe and Frozzynaut. Alright, let's see what we have. Sword, we went over that. Underworld, Good Legions exclusive, Corrupted, of course. Alright, Feed Me deals moderate magic damage to an enemy, gains as much life as damage dealt. 0 cooldown, 0 stamina. I always love to see that. It also deals magic, so you don't just have purely dark based attacks. So spammable magic based attack that can actually lifesteal. I mean, considering this monster is going to be running 2 strengths of 40 damage that is spammable, you don't worry about CDA, you don't worry about getting stamina drained. That's nice, especially because the sword relics aren't the best at recovering stamina. Bad Sleep deals moderate dark damage to when enemy applies nightmares. So what the heck is that? 0 cooldown, 9 stamina cost, odd stamina cost, but hey, 0 cooldown and applies nightmares. Monster vs. Food deals low magic damage. That we have the magic again, gains as much life as damage dealt. 25, 2 turn cooldown. So it's definitely on the weaker end, but keep in mind against a Megaton monster, it would deal 3 times over, so it would be 75 damage, and you would lifesteal that, so you could definitely recover your life all the way. We have Food Demolisher, deals very heavy dark damage to when enemy gains as much life as damage. I'm not a big fan of this. 55 damage, 1 turn cooldown. It looks like, oh no, you have a 60 attack, so this is definitely one of your stronger attacks. And it's a lifesteal and nightmares. Night Feeding deals moderate dark damage to all enemies, applies nightmares to all enemies. AoE Nightmares, it's 40 damage, so that is impressive. We have Megatoad Training, removes all negative effects from itself, applies double healing to itself, requires cooldown 0, 2, and 22, so it's just a pure cleanse with the double heal. This can definitely synergize with all of your lifesteal skills. You have 1, 2, 3, or just about all your skills lifesteal. Alright, now on to tier 3 skills. We have Professional Devourer. Doubles the maximum life of itself first. Keep in mind, guys, that's the first thing this monster does. Doubles the maximum life of itself. Then it deals very heavy dark damage to an enemy. And then, after that is said and done, you gain as much life. Gain as much life as damage done. Okay, I will say, this is amazing. We've seen lifesteal skills before, but this is the first monster, if I'm not mistaken, to double your max life and then lifesteal. That is awesome. So, I mean, this monster is a dark monster anyway, so even if you battled someone that had a soul drag, it would only take half as amount of damage. But thanks to that maximum life, like even if you have a lower ranking Matt Stonie, even if you battle someone like a rank 5 Ollie that has a soul drag that's fully ranked up, it's going to take away 250k HP. But if you kill Ollie, if you do Professional Devourer to double your max life, that Ollie, even though it's rank 5 and you might not be rank 5, maybe you're rank 3, maybe you're rank 4, maybe you're rank 2, heck, thanks to doubling your max life, that's going to be awesome. So this skill could potentially help the more of like the free-to-play community, the players that don't have as much ranked monsters, battle against a high-ranking soul drag. So I will give it to him. This is pretty cool. And then we have Growing Hunger. Increases 50% of the max life of itself, deals moderate magic damage to enemies, gains as much life as damaged out. And there we go, another skill that first increases your max life. This one is not double, it's just 50. So if you had 100k HP, now you would have 150k HP. You deal magic, and then you gain as much life as damaged out. I will say, the cool thing about Matt Stonie is it doesn't matter if you fight an Ollie Fanatic, it doesn't matter if you fight a Mouseron or a Shelly, you have a magic AoE skill that you can utilize against those situations. Yeah, 40 damage, that's 120 against a Megatop monster. Once again, even if they run their even, I wonder if the 50% will stack with the double, because that'd be insane. Because if you had 100k HP, it would go to 200, and then if it's 50 of the 2, it would go to 300. So it'd be, yeah, that'd be crazy. You'd go from 100k to 300k if they stack like that. But yeah, as I was saying, it doesn't matter if they have a soul drag. Thanks to this maximum life increase and healing, you'll be good to go. So in terms of a setup for this monster, I would go with Growing Hunger, Professional Devourer. I would go with, let's see, so those are your 60 and your 40. 3 turn cooldown, that's the kind of the bad thing about those. I would go with Night Feeding, another AoE skill, especially if you have Unrelenting Assault. You definitely go with Night Feeding, and I would go with Food Demolisher. Now, of course, actually, I might scratch off Food Demolisher, and I would go with Feed Me. And reason for that being is, once again, the 0 cooldown, especially 0 cooldown, 0 stamina, especially if you're battling Megatop monsters. A lot of them tend to drain your stamina all the way to 0. So if you put yourself in a situation where you do Growing Hunger and you almost kill the enemy, but you don't, UA kicks in, but then they drain your stamina, you're going to have to recharge. But if you have Feed Me, you're going to be able to keep attacking and keep going until you have to recharge. So I would go Growing Hunger, Professional Devour, Night Feeding, and then then Feed Me. That would be my go-to skill set. So you have a blend of magic and dark attacks. I think this monster is awesome. Honestly, you're good to go. You're good to go with this monster. It's Super Time. Deals massive special damage to enemies. Gains so much life. Applies Curse. Applies Nightmares. Oh, this ultimate's going to kill too. So I gotta say, I actually really enjoy the monster. The only bad thing about this monster is that he is competing with Lord Nabotis. Rank 5 Lord Nabotis with 5 traits and a crazy... Like, no one can compete with him. But I gotta admit, this is a lifesteal monster that I really enjoy. I really like him. Let's see. This is a fire monster. No, he... Oh, that's great. No, he is dark. Oh, that is great. This is a fire monster. No, he is dark. Oh, that is great. Yeah, I like Matt Stonie. I think he's awesome. I think it's a pretty cool monster. Let me know what you guys think. He's going to be an attacker, once again. 2 strength, 1 speed. You could, if you wanted to make him tanker, you could rainbow him. I don't think he needs it. I think he can self-sustain enough. He has a good life stat. Once again, a top 10 stat, tied with that of Mouseron, Swampzoid, Boronot, and Lord Nabotis. So he doesn't need to worry about having an extra life rune. He has a great power output. Once again, Minos, Gartog, Dream, Charmless, and Corey. And he is super fast as well. So I'd say single speed, maybe just a team speed. You can even buff double damage. Can you imagine the damage output? But yeah, I think he's good to go. He's a good monster. Let me know what you guys think about this monster in the comments below. Try to ignore the fact that Lord Nabotis exists. Alright guys, with that being said, I will see you all next time. Remember to subscribe.